Hey everybody, how you doing? Aaron Blaze here. Camera switched over kind of quick.
I know, my bad.
It's okay.
Oh, my bad.
I got surprised. But we are here on our Tuesday live stream. It is 9 o'clock in the morning here in the eastern United States. And we're going to do some watercolor painting for you again. And if you notice, I've kind of buzzed my head again. I'm getting into this short hair. I can't get it short enough. I love not having hair. I don't know what it is. I went from having a ponytail for 25 years to I can't have hair in my head. But anyway, maybe it's the symptoms of being quarantined, because I think we're in our third week now of quarantine. Or not quarantine, but social separation, distancing. But we're going to do some watercolor painting today. We did some watercolor painting last week on Friday, and it was kind of fun. Can you switch to the down shooter right here?
Yes, of course.
And we'll show the gang what we got. Yeah, here we go. So this was a painting that we did last week, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm using my son, Dustin, Dustin's on vacation today. Today we've got the lovely Vedanta Sproston.
Hi, everybody.
Let's switch to her camera.
Oh, webcam.
So they can see you.
Yeah.
There you go. There she is. So yeah, she's still learning the ropes here. So forgive any kind of clunkiness, which I don't think it's that clunky.
Okay.
But yeah, we got Vedanta, and so we did this last week, and so this week I've got some more photo reference from Dustin, and this one is a waterfowl. It's called a Moorhen, and actually, which if you could, Vedanta, if you could, I don't know if you're able to do it. Let me see the mouse pad real quick, and the mouse. I just want to show the audience real quick. There it is. I just want to show you guys. You're going to go to the desk cam because I'm going to bring this over there.
Okay.
Okay, now click on the. You got to click on Photoshop. Where's the? Let me do this, because we are. I can't see.
Photoshop. I know you got the.
Tell me when I'm there.
Almost. Up, down.
I'm sorry.
Up, over. Go. You're good.
There we go. Let me, here, I'll do this. If we go plus on it. So that's what we're painting today. So I want to, I want to do water, and because I know a lot of people struggle with water, but this is called a moorhen. It's a really beautiful bird that we have here in Florida, actually all over the southeast, and it's pretty cool.
I can take.
What's that?
I'm going to take the mouse pad back, right?
Yes, I'm going to bring it back to you. I'm just going to, oops, going the wrong way. There we go. There, I got to slide that over. Hold on one second. Sorry, folks, because we're just a little clunky today. And I'm going to slide this over, put it right back. So this is my reference. Hopefully, if you guys are going to paint along with me, you grabbed it then. And now you're back in business, Vedanta. So, here we go. So, today we've got Vedanta with us. What camera are we on? We're here?
Set cam.
Oh, sit cam. There we are. So, I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to put this up for sale, I think. Or we might do a raffle or something like that. We're going to start doing stuff to get some of these things out. Here, can you take that and just throw that over there? And then...
No, I lost it.
You lost what?
My Facebook.
Oh, I can show you. Sorry. It's all right. Oh, you got a... Right there. There.
Awesome. Thanks.
Yep. So,
Sorry about that, folks.
no, we're back. And I'm going to sketch this out first of all, and we'll just start doing our usual questions and answers. And before we get into this, stay thirsty, my friends. We got Nick Birch in Sarasota, and he's going to be helping out with questions. Helping out with questions. But I want to let you guys know two things. First, Saturday, which is April 11th, this coming Saturday, we've got a big animation event happening, a live animation event, and I think we have a slide for that, but don't worry about it if you can't find it because I don't think Dustin marked it. So, but we got an animation event, and on Wednesday it starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to go for 6 hours. If you guys want to join us, if you're interested, go to creatureartteacher.com/live. It's going to be 6 hours of animation. And it's all basics, so it's an introduction. So if you're a professional already, this is going to be stuff you probably already know. But for those of you that are brand new to animation and you're wanting to get into it and you want to understand the basics, that's what I'm going to be teaching on Saturday. I'm going to be taking through the bouncing ball, where I'm talking about timing and stretch and squash and all the things that make it's the most basic exercise for animation. It's the first thing we learn. I'm going to take you through that, and then from that we're going to take the stuff that you learn, and we're going to do an exercise called the flour sack, and we're going to kind of use all that stuff, but we're also going to add attitude, posing, all kinds of fun stuff. And then the third part of the day, we're going to talk about dialogue, and that's a lot of fun. And we'll probably get Dustin, if we have him here, we'll get Dustin to do some voices for us so that we can animate to that. Okay? So, that being said, the other thing I want to tell you is, and I'm sure a lot of you know this already, we've been trying to advertise it all over the place, but tell your friends, tell all your art friends that, Nick and I, in response to the quarantine and people being stuck at home and people losing their jobs and a lot of different things, we understand that there's a big financial crisis out there along with this virus. And so we've decided to go into our website, and we took our Fundamentals of Animation video course, and we've made it free. So you can just go download it and you can have it. It's something that we want people, while you're being quarantined, I know there's a lot of boredom, there's a lot of what am I going to do now? Well, why not learn? And I think that, we can go into this and we can come out of it stronger than we went in if we're learning stuff, right? So the animation course is free, and then a lot of stuff on the site we've just marked down to $1. So it's just, we've slashed it way down. And then there's also deep discounts on other things. They're 45% off, 50% off. So go and check all that out at creatureartteacher.com. And you can load up. I mean, you could load up on a bunch of courses for $5. So it's kind of crazy. Or just load up on the animation course for free. So there's a lot of great stuff in there. And I we just want to do our part, and we hope that you guys are staying safe and learning and having a great time. So there's that. Let me see. Oh, Kendra Williford says, I love that shirt. Thanks.
Oh,
I love it too. Thank you, Kendra.
We've got a bunch of people on already that are very familiar. Detlef, Caroline,
All right, Caroline.
Erica.
Holy moly, we got the whole gang together.
Yeah.
We're getting the band back together, man.
And yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of people on. I'll start asking questions.
That's awesome. Well, I got a YouTube comment. Yay, I bought your watercolor course and I'm so happy with it. Awesome. A YouTube comment. What happened to your lovely Maine? Well, I left it in Maine. Delicious ice water.
So
No, it's not vodka. It's water.
Go ahead and do the down shooter then.
Yeah, let's go to the down shooter. I got to stop yakking and start drawing. But as I'm drawing, we'll. So, like I said, this is a moorhen, and it's a beautiful bird, a very striking, dark bird that has this bright red beak on it. And I want to kind of approach it with this loose approach that I like to do, and then we'll see where we go from there. Got to make sure you get the rhythms right with the neck and how that works right there, and getting the reflections right.
What's happened to your hair?
Oh yeah, so someone asked me about my hair. Well, this is it. Here's the deal. I get bored easy, and plus I've been doing a lot of work outside, during this whole thing, and I just decided it was getting hot, and I just decided I wanted to get rid of my hair. So I actually long time ago, I shaved my head for a little while, and then I grew it back out again. But I had the ponytail for 25 years, and that was long enough. But I donated my hair about every 3 years. I'd cut the ponytail all off, and then I donate it. And I think over the 25 years, I donated about 8 feet of hair. I kept track of the number of donations I did, and then the amount of hair I donated each time. And I think it worked out to about 8 feet. So I'm hoping I get this guy about in the right spot. I've got it a little bit low in the composition, right here. But that's all right. I'm just going to roll with it. Love the haircut, mate. For YouTube comment too. Thanks.
Do you know of the artist Simone Stalenhag?
No.
Oh, the show Tales from the Loop.
Oh, yes. I do. Yes,
work.
Absolutely.
I love Simon. It's not Simone.
Simon. Yeah, I love those paintings. I've been a fan of those paintings for years, and it's so cool. We've actually been watching Tales from the Loop. We've got, I think I'm on episode 4 or 5.
You just finished 4.
Yeah. Well, I started while you've been asleep. I was watching 5.
Oh.
But I keep falling asleep during it, so I don't really remember any of it. So I gotta go.
You're not supposed to go ahead of me.
I know.
Yeah, awesome show though.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got such a cool tone to it. I really love it.
Caroline Wilson said, my friend's 9-year-old is really excited to try drawing thanks to those courses. They don't have a lot of money, so they're so excited to get them.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome, Caroline. We miss you here in Florida.
We've got someone from Munich tuning in.
Right on.
Let's see.
The thing with reflections is you want to make sure you bring everything straight down. Everything should line up straight up and down. Like that. But the other great thing about reflection is as long as you get that in there, you can get kind of wonky with it, and it works because it's water.
Someone from Vietnam, Tom Dong, says hello from Vietnam.
Wow.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Nadine, hello from London.
Hello.
Someone's asking me about the little squirrel picnic table. Well, it's been sidetracked.
No, it's not sidetracked. We just haven't gotten to it yet because we're building a shed right now as well. We built the deck for the whole backyard. Now we're adding a shed for more storage.
Yeah, we got into other things, but I'm still gonna make it for him. For Boots. He's gonna get his
Boots.
He's gonna get his little picnic table on the fence. Hello from Ireland.
Hello. Hello.
Someone's asking Rowan, are you using a pencil? Do you think watercolor pencils work good too?
I don't use watercolor pencils. This is just a graphite pencil, and I got this head too small. This is just a graphite pencil. I don't usually do this. I don't like to erase. Yeah, because I don't like to erase on watercolor paper. I'm hoping I didn't do it too hard.
Yeah, because it messes up the texture, right?
It messes up the tooth a little bit, yeah.
Kevin says, hello from the Netherlands.
Hello.
Taiwan, Bristol, UK, Romania. Wow.
Wow.
Cool.
We got an international crew today.
We have Chu, Jules, and Olivia.
Hello, hello, hello.
Oh, hi from quarantine in New Jersey, Frankfurt.
Oh man, sorry.
Yeah.
You guys are getting pounded.
Sucks.
Stay safe, my friend. We're not even gonna put the eye in here. We're just gonna.
What do you just do that with color?
Yeah, I'm just gonna cover it because it's all in shadow, and it's gonna be really, really cool. So the big thing is, I want to show you how loose we can be. I hope it works out because, I'm going to be doing wet into wet today, meaning wet paint into wet paper. And sometimes you get it to bleed the way you want, and sometimes you don't. A great artist, Anders Zorn, who's known for his beautiful oil paintings, was also a really incredible watercolorist and a guy that could paint water like you wouldn't believe. And he's a great guy to look at for reference for that type of thing.
I got 10 more people are calling out their cities.
Oh, yeah?
Caitlin from Boston, Pamela, Australia, Angela from Alabama, Detlef is sending waffle vibes from Belgium.
Let's see, Nick is saying that the overhead cam is kind of dark.
Shadowy. I was going to say turn on that light.
Oh, it's not plugged in. Shoot.
I can do it. I'll take care of it. Valerie
Yeah,
from
there's
Rome.
not really a way to
Ruben
light it
from
any
Italy.
better. I don't know. Yeah, because it looks good on here.
Well, I can move one of these towards you.
No, I don't want to do that. Here, just
Which one is it?
it's is it coming down? It's back.
Okay.
Do you see it back there? No. It should be. It's right here. Hold on. Coming through. Coming through. There it is. We'll have it lit in just a second. There we go. Hopefully that's a little better. There. Alright. Alright.
Yeah, I was gonna say the shadow on your arm was a little bit intense.
Like camping?
Like camping.
Yes. Intense.
Alright.
So I just do a quick sketch like this. Just get a sense of everything. I'm gonna keep this really loose. I'm not gonna worry about every feather. You know, this is gonna be about letting the watercolor do what it does best. And so hopefully I can do that. So I've got my water set up, and I'm gonna be laying down a lot of water on here first, and I've got a 1-inch brush. Actually, I think I've got an even bigger brush because this is going to be. Yes.
Where's Malta?
Look at that.
Malta.
Malta.
Morocco, Greece. Ludmil
So,
from Sarasota.
Ludmil. So I got a big brush here. This one I'm going to be laying down a lot of water. I want to do wet into wet, and then we're going to hair dry it. I've got my hair dryer, so we're going to be loud with that. The paper that I'm using, a YouTube question, what type of paper am I using? I am using Arches Aquarelle Watercolor. It's 140 pound. It's a watercolor block, so it's sealed on all sides. And it's 12 by 16 inches. Like so. All right, so I'm going to get in here real quick. Let me get rid of my phone. My phone's in the way. All right, so I'm actually going to move my water a little closer because I want to be able to get. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to get the paint ready first because I don't want to get this wet and then have to come over here and mix paint.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that first. So we've got some nice subtle blues in here that I'm going to throw. Is that in the way?
Covering the camera.
Okay, let me do this. There we go. So first thing I want to get some water in here, a lot of water. We've got a nice big number 24 brush here. It's big brush. You can bring in a lot of water. I want to get my blues. I got some cobalt, ultramarine, cerulean. I want to keep them nice and blue. Really blue.
I've got Vino from Canada asking, how do you compare your online courses with college animation courses?
It's a lot the same. I mean, it's all the same information. I'm teaching the fundamentals a lot of in my scene approach. I'm doing a lot of 2D animation. So, but the fundamentals part of everything is, that's universal, whether you do 3D or not. What's that?
Is that cerulean and the ultramarine?
It's cerulean and ultramarine, yes. Libby on YouTube. Hi from Hampshire, UK. I've done watercolor casually for years. Besides paints, paper, and brushes, what other materials do you consider essential? You got to have a good palette. You got to have a really good palette with enough room to mix on and all of that. So now I'm going to go back to my big brush right here, and I'm going to start wetting the paper. So I'm going to bring that over here this time. And what I do is I try to get on it, and I'm not going to worry about the reflection. I want the reflection. I'm going to go ahead and paint over the reflection. Most of the bird is going to be dark anyway, so I'm not too worried about the blue going over the reflection, but I am going to leave the main part of the body, I think.
What type of watercolor are you using?
Winsor Newton.
Winsor Newton.
So I want to make sure I've got all of this kind of nice and evenly laid in. And at this angle, actually, I can't see where I've...
Thanks, Anna, for telling me where that had no idea where Malta was. What does oil on linen mean?
It's basically oil on canvas. Linen is just a tighter thread. It's oil paint on a very tight threaded canvas.
Christopher from Claremont. Hey guys from Claremont.
Right on.
Do you know Daryl Tank?
No. All right, so I think I've got this all wet. Can't really see. Let me make sure.
Looks pretty wet.
Oh, no, I missed a big spot over here. I got to see it in the glare. Yep, missed a spot right here. There we go. Okay, so now while this is wet, I'm just going to run through everything real quick and make sure I got it all evenly wetted. While this is wet, I want to start laying in some color. I'm going to do that with my big brush. And you'll start to see it bleed. And it's going to do what watercolor is supposed to do. Go. I'm just kind of quickly laying stuff in. And I'm just going to let it bleed. Through here. Actually, I might jump over to my big brush again. Actually, my 1-inch brush. There we go. Use my 1-inch brush. Bring that up here. And we're just going to let it do what watercolor does. And that's when you do white into wet like this, it'll bleed. It'll, and by bleeding, I mean it spreads out. And you get a really beautiful kind of effect. Now you'll see up in the upper right here, right up here, you see that? That's water pooling, and I don't want that. I want it, so what I'm going to do, you can fix that. I just need to squeeze out my brush. I can come up here and soak it right up. Just like that. There we go. Marshall just got up. I just heard him walk by. He was trying to be quiet. I almost called him out, but
Someone says channeling your inner Bob Ross today.
I am. I am definitely channeling my inner Bob Ross. So now I'm just going through and kind of making little touches here and there, because we're going to go in after this dries and we're going to hit some darker areas in these waters.
Hi, this is Renetta from Melbourne, Australia.
Hey, how you doing?
I just brought heaps of your tutorials and can't wait to get started. I have drawn animals since I was young, but struggle to move on onto other mediums confidently. Do you think charcoal or watercolor is a good step forward from pencil?
Yes, either one. Charcoal probably is more logical to go from pencil, but either one is a great medium. And so I think I've got enough down right now so you can see how that. Let me zoom in on this a little bit, or I'll just pick it up. You can see how that really spreads out, how all that pigment just kind of moves around, and you can actually get it to move around even more if you do this kind of thing with it. You know, you can get it to kind of even out. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. And the thing I'm going to do now, I want to even some of it out over here, right along the neck. There we go.
Oh, someone's asking me where I'm from. I'm Florida. I was born in Key West. I've lived all over the United States, and now I'm back in Florida. So, it's me.
How would you suggest a beginner to start on watercolor or even a color theory itself? I do think lessons help, because watercolor is there's a lot of technique to watercolor because it can be kind of fickle. I would say, for sounding like I'm hawking myself, my watercolor course is actually really thorough, and I would recommend you check that out, because it'll take you right from beginner to expert, and it takes you through color theory and all kinds of stuff. Here I'm going to have to turn my hair dryer on because we're to the point now, and so it's going to be a little bit loud, and it's going to take a little while. But I'm going to dry this out.
Why aren't you painting all the way to the edge?
Oh, I just didn't feel like it. I'll probably, I like seeing, when I do these, I like seeing the handmade quality of it, and kind of I just didn't feel like painting to the edge. Sometimes I'll tape them off, and then I will paint to the edge, and then you can take the tape off and have a nice, pretty. I wanted this to feel more like a sketch. So I'm just gonna sit here and just dry it out. Having a hair dryer is pretty imperative.
Someone's asking about the paper again because it's not getting soaked. It's Arches.
Yes, this is Arches paper, and it's a watercolor block. So it's sealed all the way around the edges, so it doesn't buckle up that much. Otherwise, if I was using a single piece of paper, I would be taping it down. Or sometimes I put paper on stretchers, like for canvas. And I'll staple it to the stretcher while it's wet, and when it dries, it tightens up like a drum, and I'll paint on it that way.
Oh, and Ronnie has a great course on color theory, right?
Ronnie Williford's got a wonderful course on our site on color theory. So as I dry this, there is a little bit of buckling, but as I dry it, the buckling will actually flatten out as the water evaporates. Sorry about the noise. We're getting there, so you can see already it's got a nice effect when you do wet into wet, and the way it bleeds is really nice. So now, once I get all this done, the next step in the water part of it is getting some very precise reflections in there and ripples, where I'm going to be painting wet onto dry next.
Because your actual drawing for this was very simple.
Yeah, very simple. Okay, that all feels. I always use the back of my hand. Oh, that's a little wet over there. I always use the back of my hand to feel because there's less oil, and if you get oil, I try to wash my hands beforehand, but if I forget, like I didn't this morning, I pretty recently got out of the shower, but my hands shouldn't be too oily. But I always use the back of my hands, just get in the habit of doing that. Okay, so the next step, let's do some ripple effects in here. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to go a little bit darker with some of this. And I'm using that combination of cerulean and ultramarine. I like the two of them together. This time it's a little more pigment, so it's going to be a little darker. Twitch question. Hi, Aaron. Do you have any recommendations for doing master courses? I want to study Sargent, but I don't know where to begin. Any suggestions? Well, there's plenty of information on the internet about Sargent, and I've got a couple of books on Sargent, and I've seen some Sargent paintings. I would say if you have the ability to go out there and try to find the Sargent paintings that you admire, to see a Sargent in person will change your artistic life. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, I mean, that's the best thing I can suggest is to try to get there and find him. So I try to be very direct. And so you can see I just laid down this line, and I'm using a little number, it's a 1/2 inch flat. Just like that. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. There we go. So you can see a little better.
It says, hi Aaron, I see you draw the duck's head right into the golden ratio. Was that calculated or some kind of second nature?
I think it's second nature because I wasn't calculating that. But I tried to put the head in a comfortable, pleasing spot.
Kirk Michael just purchased your very kind $1 course on digital painting and Photoshop. Thanks, mate. Can't wait to get started.
Oh, good. Thank you, Kirk Michael. So once again, I'm just trying going very loosely. And I'm looking at what the water is doing and not necessarily copying it verbatim, but trying to kind of get the same sense in my painting as what's happening there. YouTube comment. My favorite watercolor paintings I've ever seen were by Andrew Wyeth in the Farnsworth Gallery. Yeah, they are beautiful. They have a beautifully controlled but blotchy quality. Makes me think of 60s Disney. That's absolutely right. He painted them in the 60s too, 50s and 40s. And he had a very, he had a mastery of, like I always try to say, letting watercolor do what it does, but he was able to control that. And that's a master at work right there when you can do that. So here is, there's a bunch of disturbances in the water after the bird has swam through, so I'm trying to get some subtlety there. Walter Tulp says, hey, good to see you. It's good to see you. Well, I'm not seeing you, but...
Oh, Wouter.
Yeah.
From Denmark?
Yeah, Wouter, yeah. Sorry, I said Walter.
Wouter. Wouter too.
Wouter.
Awesome artist.
Yes.
Very cool.
If you guys don't know his work, look him up. Okay, so in here, there's a nice big darker reflection through here, or ripple right through here, that actually causes that distortion right there. So I want to make sure that I get that. And it comes right through to here.
Oh, is Wouter from the Netherlands?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I said Denmark. Sorry, that's my fault.
That's okay. I'm sure he's used to it.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
So sorry. Yeah, I met him in the Philippines for the first time at Icon Manila.
Nice dude.
And then we keep seeing him at like Lightbox and was he at CTN? I know he was at Lightbox.
The Lightbox, I think, is when we last saw him. There we go. Just getting little reflections and ripples and whatnot in here.
Sherry Eichelberger. Sorry about that. I'm a watercolorist myself. Love watercolor. I'd love to get your critiquing. And she's sending you the link to some of her artwork.
Oh, cool.
She said I use a projector for my realistic paintings. So what is that?
It's projecting, onto the paper.
Oh, okay. Okay, Daniel Spagnol says, "Hi, Aaron. Do you think that drawing from photos will limit your artistic technical abilities, and why?"
No, I don't. I think it's up to the art. I think you use photos to. I use photos to be inspired. I'm using a photo now to see reference, but it's up to the artist to change it, to improve upon it, to be inspired by it.
Yeah, and also paint from life and draw from life.
Yeah.
But photos, it's just gonna. It's most people use them in a studio, right?
A lot of
use
artists
studio
do,
paintings and.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's a lot of different schools of thought on it, and I just think it's limiting when you say, "Oh, don't use photos." And there's a lot of purists out there that will tell you that.
That's how my teachers in high school always were. They wanted me to paint from life, but I feel like
and I do think painting from life
has the
is super
ability
important.
to paint the things they want in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's see. Are there any expos that you're looking forward to after the COVID-19 blows over?
Well, we're going to be doing Lightbox.
Hopefully, it's not affected.
Yeah, if
I was
it's
still
not
wondering. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Lightbox too.
Yeah. You can see I'm trying very hard to just be kind of spontaneous here with laying down the water.
Kevin's asking how you deal with doing watercolor outside, painting water because of the ever-changing light. How hard is that?
It's just I try to look at get impressions and do it that way. Can you hand me the boat painting that's under glass? This is one that I did from life when we were in Sarasota, and so I'm looking at a lot of different things. I'm looking at the color changes as the water gets more shallow. I'm looking at the perspective, so the shapes get smaller as they recede. I'm looking at the shadow of the boat and the shapes there and how you see into the shadow and see the bottom, so you can see the shadow of the boat. There's a lot of different things that I look at when I'm painting from life, and I really stare at that water before I paint it so I can get the sense, the ripple of sense, and the way that it sits there and not sits there, but the way that it moves, and try to get those shapes into quick brush strokes. This is about a 1.5 hour painting, and it was one that I was happy with. I was really I really liked how the water came out, and so it's sitting there and trying to really observe as you're doing it.
Do you feel like you have more freedom with watercolor than like gouache, oil, or
with any medium? Like I say, with watercolor, you can let it be what it is, but you can also it can be really restrictive too, depending on how you approach it. Twitch question, joined late. What type of duck is this? This is a moorhen. Moorhen. Moor as in Moor. E.
Morgana says hello from Italy.
Oh, hi. I hope you guys are doing all right.
Is there a reason you used watercolor in tubes instead of the solid pans?
Yes. Using watercolor in tubes, for me, I'm able to get a much more concentrated, I can get the color much quicker and get it nice and concentrated. So there we go, keeping that nice and quick.
Oh, Detlef said that painting of the boat was such a masterpiece, and he was so lucky to be there to watch you paint it.
Thank you, Detlef. I was lucky to have you there. I was admiring your the other day on Facebook. You'd posted it a while back, but all the paintings that you had done as a group.
They were great.
They were really great. I loved them.
Jesus Martinez says, "Do you have a favorite animated feature film in general? Besides the ones you worked on?"
You know, I've always really loved Bambi, and I've always loved. Actually, I'm going to stick with this color. I really like. The Secret of Nim. I love Secret of Nim.
I love The Secret of Nim.
All right, so now what I'm going to be doing.
Leave the stone.
Leave the stone. I'm going to lay in a little bit of Payne's Gray here. A little bit of Payne's Gray. Because we're going to start working into our bird. Bird.
What's Ecoline?
What's that?
Ecoline?
Ecoline?
Someone says, have you guys ever tried Ecoline?
I don't know what that is. Is that a hallucinogenic?
I think it's probably some kind of paint. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I don't know.
Most likely. So is that Payne's Gray? No, what's that?
Yeah, Payne's Gray, and I'm mixing an ultramarine. And as I paint this in, this is I'm gonna I want a little bit of alizarin in there too. Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Gives it a little more complexity.
Yeah, it's going to give it a little violet feel. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you can see it, the violet in there, but
I mean, you definitely see that it's changing color.
So what I want to do here is I want to make sure I'm very precise.
Dark.
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying that's a lot of pigment.
Oh,
nice.
This is going to dry lighter. I'm going to go in with even more pigment.
Well, it's a black bird anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's a lot of light on it.
I love the little yellow and red on its head. Isn't that what
on
it
the
has?
beak, yeah.
The beak, yeah. A touch. Just a touch. Ecoline is a water-based water paint. Jim Jochette says, watching you paint water this morning is really zen.
Good. So now, as I work my way back, I want it to warm up. I want it to get warmer. I'm going to add a little cad red to it.
This is a family show.
Yeah.
Oh no, someone's asking. Sure, they said Ecoline is great, but have you tried DMT?
Oh.
And I'm like, come on,
it's
man.
It's a family
There's
show.
kids watching. Let's see.
All right, so I'm just going to lay this in. I got to be very gentle there. Come on.
Ludmil, which you remember him from Sarasota, right?
Of course.
Hey, Aaron, I was wondering if you ever had a chance to work with Andreas Deja during the time at Disney.
Yes.
His animal gesture drawings are amazing.
Yeah, Andreas is incredible. Yeah, Andreas and I both have a real affinity, a love for drawing animals, and we worked together in Paris for a while, and then he was based in
with Disney?
California. Yeah, he was based in California most of the time. For those of you that don't know, Andreas Deja was a supervising animator of a lot of the villains. So he supervised and animated Scar and Gaston and Jafar.
Those are all such cool characters.
Oh yeah, he's great.
So he designed all those, huh?
Designed them and animated them, yeah. And you can really see that influence when you look at like Jafar and Scar, how similar their being is.
Yes. They're so cool. Villains, I love villains. They're so interesting usually.
Yeah. All right.
Everyone's hyping the Ecoline for some reason.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know. It's used for like ink pens and things like that.
Uh-huh.
And brush markers.
Awesome.
Oh, Angus Payton says Greenock Art Club tuning in all the way in Bonnie, Scotland.
Right on.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hi, hello, Scotland, hello. Thanks for the live demonstration. That's awesome.
My pleasure.
I mean, Dustin's not here, so I gotta do the voice recognition technology in Scotland in a lift. See, I just can't. It's not Dustin. Sorry.
So once again, this is just kind of the first layer that I'm laying in. And then we'll get in and have some fun darkening it up and making it richer.
Something like a good shadow, huh?
Yep.
Or reflection. Whatever that's considered. Shadow.
Reflection.
Reflection?
I'm going
Isn't
to
that just a shadow on the water?
a reflection? No. But reflections, understanding reflections, you need to understand geometry and perspective and the way that they work. Wouter has a great course on expressive character design over at schoolism.com. Yeah, thank you, Nick, for mentioning that. Yeah, Schoolism, for those of you that kind of get through everything that we've got, Schoolism has some great stuff, and Wouter has a great course on expressive, what was it, expressive character, yes. He actually gave a great lecture on character stuff in the Philippines when we were there. So here, I'm just trying to get that first layer in. Aaron, can you talk a little bit about general brush care and how that changes for different types of paint? I feel like I end up killing my brushes pretty fast. Well, the biggest thing for brushes, the number one thing you can't do is leave them in whatever solvent that you use to clean them in. Never leave your brushes, because that will destroy them faster than anything. So in this case with water, don't ever leave your brushes down in the cup, and just make sure that's really, for watercolor, you just got to make sure they're pretty thoroughly cleaned out. For oil, it's the same kind of thing. You want to, I used a turpentine or terpenoid type cleaner, and you just want to make sure you get all that pigment out of your brush, because when it dries in there, it's a mess. So I'm going to go in now. I want to jump over to that beak and get that beak taken care of. I'm grabbing some cadmium red.
Oh.
That's okay. I'm just going to hit it very lightly first, because I want to get, there's light kind of coming off of that beak, and so there's a very light approach here.
Yolamar Perozzo says, I've just started your watercolor course online. I'm in love with this medium so far.
Oh, great. Yeah, watercolor is awesome. It really is. So we're going to get that little bit of the beak in there. And I'm going to grab another little brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of cad yellow light here. It's almost like a lemon yellow.
Nefeli says that she's in schoolism and she can confirm it's pretty great.
Awesome. Yeah. We're good friends with Bobby Chu, and we always try to support each other when we can. Bobby's got a wonderful thing going on over there, and we're always trying to help each other out.
And Dustin is not on right now, and he's not commenting. He's not saying anything. Just kidding.
Oh, is he on?
Yes. He's not involved at all. He's loving the painting so far, Dad, smiley face. Hey, Dustin.
Yeah, this is going to be cool. We're going to get some cool, when we get into the darks and stuff. The darks.
It looks so sleek.
Yeah.
Little pointy beak.
Well, once that dries, so I got to let that dry.
Kathleen Driscoll just joined. Hey, Kathleen.
Hello. Yeah, this will be one that I probably will. I'll probably recompose it and trim it up a little bit, so I think it works better, kind of trimmed up. I'm going to keep it loose like this, but first.
Art of Aaron Blaze says, Dustin, you're fired.
Hey, that came down from Nick. Awesome.
Kathleen says, hi, guys. Someone is explaining Ecoline. It says it's some colored ink that use exactly like watercolor. It's very popular with art students in France because it's so cheap. It's cheaper than watercolor, and it uses dyes instead of pigments.
Yeah, the problem with that, yes, and I do know about it. The problem with it is it's very fugitive, and fugitive means over time it'll fade. That's a problem that you get with dyes.
Oh, over time the
pigment will fade.
So the picture won't stay as vibrant as it is?
Exactly.
But I guess it would be good for art projects for school that you're doing, and
yes, exactly. Because I mean, when it is put down, it's super vibrant. There we go. Just getting that sucker in there. Do the same thing here.
We've got Frank thanking Dustin for all the great reference photos he's doing.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna get those. We're gonna have a Dustin Blaze reference pack of birds and marsh animals from Florida here. We're gonna get that up soon.
Well, someone's asking how Dustin's on vacation right now with the global quarantine. He's on a staycation.
Yeah, he's at home.
He's staying at home and not having to work right now. He's loving it.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum.
But he can also go out to the marsh because nobody's out there. There's like nobody.
Yeah, there's nobody out
Yeah,
there.
you can just walk for
You can definitely
miles
socially distance yourself out there.
and take photos.
So I'm getting this darker and darker. Darker and darker.
Oh, Kimberly says, the sweetest thing happened. I was in isolation, so my mom surprised me with an early birthday present. Bought me your lighting course. And she knows how much I love your tutorials. I've only watched a few videos so far, but it's so amazing. Thank you for making it.
Oh, thank you for mentioning it. I really enjoyed making that lighting course. It's, you know, understanding lighting and you know, it's stuff that I've spent my life trying to figure out, and I really enjoy sharing that.
Try to make it easily understandable. Like,
Yeah.
Someone's asking about the photos from the Sarasota trip. Did those ever get
They're,
edited?
Dustin's still working on them, but he's on vacation, so it's going to take a little while.
He's like, taking a break. He's taking a break. But soon. That was Ludmil was asking.
Yeah, Dustin will be.
He can't wait to see him.
Yeah, Dustin's going to be getting those out.
To everybody who was there. Oh, Dustin's on. He says he's taking this time to unwind and practice with his new camera and whatnot.
And whatnot.
Whatnot.
So here I'm getting really dark. I'm not using black. I'm using Payne's Gray and Ultramarine to get a nice deep dark.
There you go.
But you'll see that even though go even darker. Even though it looked really dark when I laid it in, and I might go in and lighten up a couple of areas, it still could go darker. There we go. Yeah, that shadow isn't actually showing up too much, is it? Well, watch this. This is another thing we can do. After I dry it. It did get a little darker than I wanted it to in the light areas. So I'm going to pull some paint out. Aaron, have you heard about the tiger that got COVID? Yes, I did. At the Bronx Zoo. What's the most complicated art piece you've ever worked on? I don't know. That's a hard one to say. I did a big portrait oil painting of a female elephant that charged us in Africa, and it was a life-size portrait. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush, and I'm just going to scrub out a little bit here.
Kathleen says that she keeps finding herself saying, "There you go," painting.
There you go. So you can see you can scrub out areas, and you can make them lighter.
Yeah.
See what I'm doing? And a lot of times, what that does is it softens. You can soften the feel of the paint itself.
Josie says, going through your watercolor class, getting to the landscape portion, I'm super excited.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that was a fun one. The landscape section. So you can see here, I'm actually getting a kind of a cool modeling effect. It starts to feel like feathers, doesn't it?
It does. It looks really cool.
Yeah, see that? And you can just go through and just hit little areas and just create texture.
Dustin's saying the Sarasota pics are done. He just hasn't done anything with them.
Oh, okay. Well, then now that that's awesome. Then we'll get them out to you guys.
Sherry Shorter. He spelled Sarasota wrong. How dare you?
Scary Shorty.
Sarasota. And Erica Bay is saying the lighting course is awesome because she took it and she was posting pictures.
Oh yeah, Erica did some beautiful paintings.
Yeah, she went through the whole thing, I think.
All right, so I'm back in the saddle again. All right, so here we go. Here we go.
Someone's asking Jason if there's any coupon codes today. But
no, there's no coupon codes. If you go to the website, there's like free stuff, and we've just made everything super cheap, so you don't even need a coupon code. There's stuff in there that's $1. We've got our animation course is free. The lighting course is $1.
Peter says traditional medium always messes with my perception of color. I'm so accustomed to working in RGB colorscape and having access to perfect white.
Yeah. But going back and forth between working digitally and working traditionally will definitely expand your artistic horizons. Here you can see how this guy, see how he's starting to come to life now. I'm starting to work these textures in. Sounds like we got someone in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. So here I'm just putting those darker textures in the reflection as well. There.
Jim is also saying, yay, looking forward to the Sarasota pics.
All right. The term fugitive art would make a good band name. Yeah, it would.
Fugitive art.
Dun, dun, dun. Fugitive art.
When all of this is over, you're going to have another live event, and I'm hoping I can come down and join you on a painting trip.
When all of this is over, we're going to, yes. We are going to have a nice one.
Yes. Very yes.
I would love to one day have an artistic retreat where artists can come and join us. And we have cabins and all kinds of...
Couldn't stop talking about that last night.
We were talking about it last night. It's my dream. Nick and I have talked about it for a couple of years of creating an artistic retreat where people can come to us and we can just paint art and create art and talk art. And
stay together on the same property.
We all stay together on the same property.
Together.
We eat together and we have a
unwind together. Yeah.
Pool and it's just, I think it would be awesome. I think we could get a lot of folks there. And we'd have cabins. We'd have cabins on the property for the guests that come in, and everyone gets a cabin that comes in. And isn't that cool?
Yes, sounds like fun. Sign me up. Artistic retreat. Heart. I'm there. Oh man, that's just. I mean, yeah, There's a bunch of people there. So
now you can see the reflection and the birds really starting to come to life here a little bit. A little bit.
Christopher says this whole situation has become my artistic retreat, but I would love to come to something like that. A hippie art commune. Not quite.
Not quite.
Not quite.
No, I'm totally hippie.
But not a commune. It's going to be like a camp, like a retreat. Yeah. The Blaze and Birch.
Blaze and Birch. burning, blazing birch. See how I'm not laboring or anything here. I'm just really kind of laying in some of these darks and just letting them do their thing.
I'm not sure what this means. Which medium is the slowest, in your opinion?
The slowest, probably oil.
Oh, to dry?
Yeah.
Is that what you're assuming?
That's what I'm assuming. They're saying.
Slowest to dry, yeah. But it takes weeks, doesn't it?
Well, it takes for an oil painting, depending on how thick you painted it, it could take up to a year.
I mean, acrylic dries so fast. It's like you got to watch it because it'll dry quicker than you want it to.
Aaron, are you ever planning on doing more courses in watercolor, something even more advanced? You showed some forest creatures made in watercolor once, and those look amazing. Yeah, I might do that. I might do some real studio type stuff, which would be a lot of fun.
Sherry Eichelberger says, where would the retreat be?
Here in Central Florida is where we want it. I'm looking for, we kind of have a dream for it to be a little kind of lakefrontish. So there's lake property, and there's a few things that we're kind of interested in.
Definitely Florida, I think.
Florida.
Paradise. Come join us. What color did you add to the Payne's gray mixture?
Well, I'm trying to put a warm kind of tint to it.
Was it like a yellow or green?
It was an ochre.
Ochre, okay.
And just keeping it loose and simple. So you can warm it, you can cool it, and still have it kind of in the black realm. There we go. There.
So how much of this is reference and how much is your own artistic choice?
I'd say it's 90%, 80% reference, 20% my artistic choice.
Where's Crystal Lake? Is that close?
I don't know where Crystal Lake is.
Okay. Everyone's still doing heart eyes for the art retreat.
I'm telling you, I'd be a winner.
Chicken dinner.
Winner, winner.
And I'm so help feed everybody.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the business I was in forever. And yeah. Some good food.
Yeah, it'd be good food.
Lay off the public subs a while.
Yeah.
And actually do some nice big dinners. And
yeah, we'd all eat together, hang out together, paint together. We'd do classes. I think it'd be a winner.
on the last day, pop a little champagne?
Sure.
Or the first day. Just kidding.
All right, so now I got that working pretty good. I want to get a little bit of blue in here. This should be in shadow.
Do you paint in acrylic?
Yes. I'll probably do an acrylic course. Vedanta paints in acrylic as well.
That's my main jam.
There we go. So I just threw a little extra little shading in there on the white feathers.
Christopher says he can totally barbecue for that. He was a cook for 15 years.
Oh, right on. So now I'm going to grab some more ultramarine and some of this.
So Slapping jewels.
Can you jump to the down the
Oh yes,
palette?
of course.
So I'm grabbing a little bit of ultramarine and adding it to the Payne's gray and thinning it out just a touch, but not too bad, because I'm going to hit some of these ripples now.
Would there be big cats and gators to paint?
Well, that's one of the things we were talking about. I think we'd be able to bring in some animals, and I think it'd be really cool. So I'm just adding there's little bubbles here and there, and little bits of kind of darker. I've got a brush that's got much more, it's a longer brush, so it holds, it'll hold more water, and I can get these really nice long kind of lines here. There we go. So now we got a really nice sense of water happening here. We're all actually coming up on, I think, finishing this little sketch. There. It feels pretty nice. Got too much water in there. Boop. Our logo should be a birch tree on fire. I've already got it in my head, Nick.
Yeah, blazing birch.
I worked it all out last night. I got to show you. I got to draw it up for you because it's really cool. Hey, Aaron, since you're such an established artist, how do you continue to learn and grow? Some of us still have a lot to learn, but what do you want? How do you? What do you do? You want to get better with? I'm sorry, but what do you want to get better with? I want to get better with art in general, and I think a true artist is always exploring, trying new things. I'm still learning a lot, and you might see me as an established artist, but I'm constantly learning, and I've found that since I've started this website and started really teaching a lot, I've learned even more because I'm forced to look at problems artistically and work them out, and then try to explain it. Which, when I'm explaining things, I understand them better. I guess is the best way to say it. So I'm always learning.
Nefeli says I recently graduated from a painting course, and the thing I miss the most from my uni days is actually interacting with other artists on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Exchanging ideas and just having a sense of belonging. Now I'm working from home in Cyprus, and I always have to explain what it is I do. So I wonder, would the retreat be accessible to anyone? Because that'd be so exciting to attend.
Of course.
And some other people are asking for price, and I know that's something that's
no.
not
This
even,
this is kind of a 5-year plan.
We're way out from even knowing what.
Yeah. This is something where we still have to get the property, but I just know that it would be something that we could do because we've had so much fun with the people that we've brought in that have joined us on other.
And after 3 days, you don't want it to end. You don't have to. You can do a full week. Or so, you know what I mean? Like, the possibilities are endless, really.
So I'm just adding a little bit of richness to the water. I don't want to overdo it, though.
Dustin says, I'm loving it. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
There we go. think we're about there.
Dan and Marshall from Proco recommended teaching on their podcast as a way to learn. That's definitely truth in that.
Oh, yeah.
So learning through teaching?
Yeah, you learn through teaching. I firmly, absolutely agree with that. That's kind of what I was trying to explain. So the more you teach, the more you learn. Especially, I mean, you know, a lot of people know stuff without knowing that they know stuff. So, and it's not until you have to explain it that you go, oh, okay. You know, it's kind of cool. I'm just going to add a little bit of roughness to the feathers.
It's a cute little bird.
Bird.
Waterfowl?
Yep. There we go. Well, that's kind of it right there. There's our moorhen. Kind of simple, but I wanted you to see how you can paint a black bird and still get sense of light, and how, you know, approach the water simply. I got a little funky. I wish it could have been softer in here. There's other things you can do. Actually, let's experiment. I want to try something. I'm just going to run. Because you can soften it just by wetting it again. I don't want to get into these darks too much because they'll bleed. There we go. It'll just soften the water just a touch. Don't be afraid to experiment, you know. Don't be afraid to ruin a painting. I've ruined hundreds, but I learn with every single one that I do. Remember, you've got 10,000 more in your arm.
Are you just using water?
Yep, just water. There we go. Just trying to soften things a touch. A touch.
A touch, a touch.
Yep. There we go. All done. Does your watercolor course require a lot of brushes, or like 4 or 5 brush can be okay? Yes. I really only used a couple of brushes in the watercolor course. I think 3 or 4, that's it. So no problems there. Once this dries, let me hit this with a hair dryer. Nick says, my sister is in quarantine and says hello. Hello, Nick's sister. Yeah, so I'll probably chop this, cut it up, and recompose it. There we go. Now I'm just going to go through and hit just a couple of little things on the water. Little, oh, that's still wet. Doggone it. See what happens if you're not careful?
You gonna blot it out or no?
No, I'm gonna leave it. Because that looks like something floating on the water. It's a happy accident. It's supposed to be something floating on the water, obviously, but one thing I didn't do, I didn't feel the paper before I started to paint again. Sisters, plural, gotcha. Hello, Nick's sisters, plural. That's a weird name for a sister. Plural.
Plural.
Yeah. There we go. All right, now let's try this again. Da, da, da. Just grabbing a little bit of color here. Look at that. That's better. Just things floating on the water. Little things here and there. Adds a little interest. YouTube question. Aaron, are you doing watercolor so that you can get some use of your now redundant hairdryer? Yes, that's exactly it. There we go. There we go. Good day.
Someone's asking, I'm not sure. Hello, Aaron. Love your work. Why didn't the paint spread all over when you passed the layer of water now?
Because once the watercolor is dry, generally it's in the paper. It's not going to move, and you can wet over it. Now, if you have a thick layer of paint like I have here, where your pigment is really concentrated, you can scrub it out and you can get it to bleed again. But when it's kind of light like this, it generally will not move. You can get it to soften a little bit like I did, but generally it's not going to go anywhere. So that's one of the rules of watercolor.
That's why you're using the dryer, right? To really dry it.
Yeah, exactly. So, I talked about the brush care, didn't I? Oh, different types of paint. Yeah, exactly. I did talk about that. So there you go. That's it. There's our little painting. Let me zoom in on this little guy. A little bit. There we go. That feels better. Compositionally, that feels better. So yeah, this was pretty simple, but it was fun to do. I think the plane looks off a little bit, the plane of the water. But you know what? I'm taking it back.
You're not done?
I'm not done. I'm looking at it right now, and I really feel like I want to really get some of that blue to be really blue. And it feels like a nice cerulean.
On the water, you mean?
Yeah, in the dark areas of the water. I'm looking at my reference, and it's really blue, and this feels kind of grayed out.
Light, yeah.
And I'm just gonna go for it. Let's just go for it. Let's see what happens. I'm just gonna go for it.
Go for it. Just go for it.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Still not going for it. Got to get more pigment.
More pigment.
More pigment. Pigment. You like it, the pigment. The pigment is good, yeah. There we go.
That's some pigment there. There.
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid.
There's some pigment right there.
Yep. Bingo. Nailed it.
Paula said, very nice painting as always. Was feeling kind of blue today, but this live stream felt so therapeutic to me.
Oh, good.
Aw, that's cool. Captain Caveman. Who's Captain Caveman?
Captain Caveman. Remember that in the Saturday morning cartoons?
Maybe. I always watch the Smurfs.
Smurf.
He-Man.
Smurf.
Thundercats. Oh. Yep. He-Man was the best. Orko. Oh man.
I was Warner Brothers all the way.
I just watched whatever was on. I like the old school stuff, like the Bugs Bunny and Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
All those. Roadrunner. But Warner Brothers. What about Hanna-Barbera? Is that different? Right?
Yeah, Hanna-Barbera was different. I liked Hanna-Barbera stuff all right. That's all Scooby-Doo and
Oh yeah.
Super Friends. I loved Super Friends.
I used to love freaking Scooby-Doo. Shaggy.
Yeah, I was never a big fan of Scooby-Doo. I don't know why.
Scoob. Yeah.
You know who did the voice of of Shaggy?
Who?
Casey Kasem.
Casey.
I'm Casey Kasem.
See, that's the hardest voice to do. You do it so well. Do it again.
No, I can't now.
Oh.
Don't put me on the spot.
Yeah.
There we go. Just wanted to deepen some of those blues.
I'm Casey.
I think it improves the water illusion. And then hit some of them in here. Nick says, I feel that the bird needs a googly eye sticker.
Well, his eyes in shadow, right? What color are their eyes normally? Like red, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're like very striking eyes.
There. Just want to get a little bit of.
Yeah, that song's not very appropriate, but okay. It's
Nelly?
getting hot in here.
It is hot in here.
Take off all your clothes.
See, nobody knows in the rest of the world whether I'm wearing pants or not.
I am getting so hot, I wanna dig my right? I mean,
Truth. There we go. Now the water feels better. I think that feels better. Captain Caveman was Hanna-Barbera.
oh,
Orko. Orko?
Orko.
Who
Yeah.
did you
Orko.
say Orko?
Orko.
Oh.
I said Orko.
Someone didn't like Orko.
I love Orko. No, I'm
I
sorry
think that was
because
Nick.
he's all he is a cape and a hat, and there's nothing.
Oh, really?
You never see him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just has eyes in his hat. And he's magical. Come on, man. Who doesn't like Orko? It's like not liking Man at Arms.
There we go. So there is our Moorhen done in watercolor. I think it's okay. I like the water a little bit. Sometimes your paintings come out not the way you wanted them to. I think in this case, it's a little bit. Oh, you know what I missed?
Sorry. There's your head.
And look at that head.
Say hi, everybody.
Hi. Look at that head. Feels like velvet. There we go. It probably didn't make any. Snarf from Thundercats also was not liked.
Really?
Yes. I think these are Nick comments.
I like Snarf. Dude.
All right, there we go. We are done. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I certainly did. That was a lot of fun. Remember, on Saturday, we've got our live web event coming up where I'm going to be talking about the fundamentals, an introduction to animation. And how does that look on the big screen? Does that look all right?
Oh, this?
Yeah.
The painting looks awesome.
Oh, good. Yeah. I'm going to be talking about an introduction to animation, so I'm going to be talking about the real basics. If you're an animation veteran, this might be a little bit under what you're looking for, but it still might be something fun to watch. but I'm going to be talking about the bouncing ball, where I talk about timing, stretch, and squash. It's an introduction to kind of the concepts of some of the concepts that we follow in animation. And then we're going to, in the second part of the day, we're going to talk about this flour sack test. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm burping all of a sudden, but I am. We're going to talk about the flour sack exercise, and it's taking everything that you know from the bouncing ball, and we take it to the next level, which is adding character and some fun to it. And then we're going to talk about dialogue in the third part of the day. It's a 6-hour day, so if you've got kids and you want something for them to do for 6 hours, put them in front of the TV with us. We'll have fun. And get some, if you can, if you have the ability to go out to an Office Depot or something like that, get some flip books, 5x7 stacks of 5x7 cards with an alligator clip on them. That's what they're called, right? Those big those clips.
Yeah, or Post-it notes or something.
Or Post-it notes too. You can animate in the little Post-it notes, and so the kids can make flip books with me. We'll do that. So that'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll just do that as a separate thing too. But we're definitely going to do it in this. And then the other thing too, I just want to remind you that we've got a huge sale. We've just dropped everything way down for everybody that are out of work or might be feeling a financial squeeze right now. Our introduction to animation course is absolutely free. We're giving that away, and we're going to do that. It's not forever. Obviously, we're going to come out of this, and everyone's going to come out of this, and life will get back to normal. But until then, we want to make sure that everyone is learning and putting some beauty back in the world, and we just want to do our part. So that's what we're trying to do for you guys. So, like I said, the animation course is free, and we've dropped the price down. Like my painting light course is $1. We've dropped the price way down on a lot of courses, and then we've drastically reduced a lot of other ones. So go check that out. It's creatureartteacher.com. And the live event on Saturday, which starts at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, that is over at creatureartteacher.com/live. Okay? So there you have it. So there's our bird, if you want to go to the down, Charity. Mm-hmm. There's our bird. That was our moorhen that we painted today. And thanks to Dustin Blaze for giving me the reference to paint it.
Gotta give him some props.
Gotta give him the props. And like I said, look for Dustin's
and he's on Instagram. Right, Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so
Twitch.
look for look for Dustin's stuff coming up. Also on our website, we're going to be providing a whole bunch of reference packs that Dustin has shot that I can't wait to use them myself, because there's some beautiful stuff in there. Also, I want to mention my brother Travis Blaze, who has a live stream on Facebook. It's Sketch to Animate is his handle, and go to Sketch to Animate, and he is there every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. He's in Seattle, my brother. He's about as far away in this country as you can get from me. And but he
specific time.
Specific time.
Specific time.
So 11 a.m. On Wednesdays with Travis. Go to Sketch to Animate. And
on Facebook, I think, is mainly where he's doing it, right?
I think YouTube as well. I think so. I'm not sure. Anyway, but that was fun today. Thanks, you guys. I hope you have a great week. We're going to be back again on Friday, and at our usual time, which is 1 o'clock Eastern time. And until then, I hope you guys stay safe, stay separated. We're going to get through this.
It's
I know
Easter weekend too. This
it
weekend,
is.
right?
It is Easter weekend coming up. Yep. And but do it from home, and protect your loved ones and protect your neighbors, and put some beauty back in the world. Get in there and create some art this week. You're not going anywhere anyway, so create some art, put some beauty back into the world. Be nice to one another, and I will talk to you next week. Vedanta?
Thanks for watching this stream. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you watch future streams.
There you go.
And check out Dustin on Instagram, Dustin Blaze. And you can always just try to friend me on Facebook. I'll probably accept that. You know, I do some art sometimes. But anyway, it was great, and we'll see you next time. All right? Bye.